believe that you can easily go to 6. The thing is that that one is out of scope for certification. So in the scoring, it will be a 6, not grade value, capture value. However, to actually make it an 8, then would be very difficult. So that's why I just wanted to mention this here. Whereas on capture on create value, we have mapped few key activities here. So just for you to select 2 or 3 current POCs or launches, and also see in there, I know that you are doing feedback cycles. What we understand is that they occur more ad hoc. So if you can also think of a formal policy around that, again, this is more for ISO. And also, if you can also complement that with some quick interviews and then document the main insights in terms of what are those external stakeholders saying and what could have been improved, right, from the moment of idea generation until the end. And also some comments that are related more to the functionality, to the pricing, to the messaging, so to those elements of the value chain, right? So the offering itself, the channels in terms of how it is being distributed, the production, maybe it's difficult, but the markets you are catering that to. And then this can help a lot just to understand in terms of, okay, these improvements that are being implemented, what is the impact that they are doing, right? To your point, Anand, regarding what you mentioned about metrics. And would be great if you could try to do this for something that is global, right? That has been implemented so that we can have a proof and we can say, okay, it came from India, but actually this is the impact that it has been doing on Renault.
Yeah.
Okay, but please just the policy on how you collect feedback within RNTBCI, outside of RNTBCI in India, or outside of RNTBCI with the other centers and with headquarters, that would be very helpful. Okay, so that we can move forward with this. And just a few points in terms of what happens post-launch and what happens post-feedback. Are we tracking things that have happened in the past and all that? We have a hard stop, and this is why Erila is off camera, just for you to know, because we have another meeting now in 3 minutes. But I believe we covered it all. So these are the only pieces missing for certification.
Hello, Travis.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So we have you in the alumni part, and I think we have Akash as well. So let me check here.
Hi, Rilla. How are you?
Hi, Akash. How are you? Good to see you.
Likewise, good. How about you? How are things?
Things are, well, hectic
Things,
always. What about?
things are rocking out because I see I follow you on LinkedIn. I think it's just the trajectory is very, very positive because I keep seeing some very, very new and niche posts from you. It's just always good.
Thank you, and congratulations for your promotion. How is that going?
Good. Thank you. Going good. Quite a big mandate. New foresight also now within the scope, and things are going on. It's good.
Okay, perfect. That's great to hear. Okay, let's wait a little bit for people because you know how it is usually. People have the tendency to join a little bit late.
Morning.
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 Okay. What link did you use, Travis and Akash? Did you use a link in the email or did you use a link that we have in the LinkedIn?
In the invite.
Okay.
Yeah, I used a link. I think Viola had sent it over to me in email.
Okay. No, just checking. Okay. Hi, Viola.
Hello, everyone.
You appear like a Rila.
Okay. Let me change my name. How are you, Travis?
خلاص
Akash,
المهم
it's a
لا
pleasure
لا
to
عندي هاي
see you.
الورشة مال الأجانب وهذا خلاص أحب حتى
Okay, Orlando is also here. Just if you can bear with us for a few moments, and then we'll start very quickly. Meanwhile, if you can write where you're joining us from today in the chat or just by opening your mic. Okay, perfect.
Okay, people are joining. I'm just sending also some reminders.
Yeah,
Registered.
I think they all received their reminders, so maybe we can start.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, we see some of the people here and more will join soon. Let me make us, okay. So, welcome everybody. As you know, we do this CIP master classes twice a year. And this is a very important, I would say, training for us as Jimmy, because we bring here professionals from around the world. And one of the main aims of this is networking between innovation professionals, innovation officers who are trying to get to know more about each other works and trying also to expedite their career path. And then, of course, it's learning the innovation process, learning the business innovation, learning a powerful methodology that you will hear from the alumni themselves, how important is basically how that has helped them in their daily work and kind of applying that in their companies. And as part of this, we do, of course, these info sessions, which are important to kind of give a little bit more information to everybody who wants to know more about the certified innovation professional and what it takes, what is the process, what can you learn from basically. So just to share, these are the objectives, so share more details about these master classes and that this program will start on September 23rd. showcase the results of past programs with some testimonials, introduce the program's instructors, and answers any questions that you might have about the program. Just few rules basically about the today. Keep your video on if you can. I know for some it's impossible, but if you can, would be nice to get to know each other. Probably you might be a student in this course. Rename yourself if you can, name, country, company, basically, because that is helpful to understand basically where you are coming from and kind of what's your affiliation. And feel free to participate actively, either by using the chat or by opening the mic if you have any questions. First of all, we would like to start it a little bit differently with few questions to understand a little bit more about the audience that we have here. So I would suggest everybody to kind of scan the QR code, which is here. And question is, what's the first word that comes to mind when you hear innovation? And I'm gonna stop sharing the screen and I'll leave Viola to share the results that kind of will be populated soon. So let me stop sharing the screen. Let me, okay, great. Viola just sent also the link for the ones who couldn't use the QR code. Okay, try to, what's the first word that comes to mind when you hear innovation? Just we want to understand a little bit more. Okay, so you are saying new values, new, something new, a value. I will see from Gautam saying growth. Okay, you can use this link for the ones who joined later on. Okay. And you can put what's your first word that comes to mind when you hear innovation. Advance, okay, that's great. Okay, we see other people participating. Creativity, okay, that's good. Well, we see words which are related to innovation. Some of these words you'll find part of the definition of innovation: unconventional, curiosity, future, disruption, discovery, iterative process, empathy. Wow, great words. And I think some of these are part of the definition of innovation, and some of it are part of the process in itself, or part of the people and the mindset, basically, of the people who are running innovation. Okay, good. Let's move to a second question so we can know more about you. So the second question is, have you ever been part of an innovation project or team? So try to use, sorry, the link that we are going to post here. Okay, and the question is, have you ever been part of an innovation project or team? So we understand what's your maturity when it comes to innovation. So Viola, if you can put that slide again to see some of the results, but use the link that I shared or that Viola shared, and we can see those populated. Okay, I see more people joining. Let's go to the next slide, probably Viola. Oh yeah, perfect. So if you can fill it there, so we see, because I see you are, yeah, okay, yes, and it was a success. Okay, that's great. That's very, that's when you are lucky, right? Because we know that innovation is a bumpy road usually, and it's not that easy. And we see some people who are saying yes, but we face challenges, which is very close to the reality we see. No, and I'm here to learn how. Okay, that's good that we have newbies because also this level 1 and level 2 is about that. It's about learning what the business innovation is, learning about what innovation process is, and starting from scratch and pivoting even your career. Okay, so we see more people getting there. Yes, but we face challenges. So that's good. And I see people also putting in the chat, yes, yes, that's great. Okay, we have an idea. So it seems to be an audience that, yes, you have experienced innovation. Basically, it has been part of, you have been part of a team. For some of you has been a success. For some of you has been basically a challenge, which usually, as I mentioned, happens a lot. Okay, good. To move on a little bit on this, before giving a little bit more information about the program that I would allow Viola to do so, I would like to start with a video, and Viola, if you can help me, with a video about Jimmy, because here, as I mentioned, we have lots of alumni of Jimmy, but we have also people who probably do not know exactly what we do. So we would like to give a little bit of sneak peek about that. Okay.
Innovation Management Institute, the largest global nonprofit standard certification board dedicated to innovation and innovation management, with a global network of over 16,000 members spanning 116 countries and 20,000 individual certifications and more than 1,500 organization certifications issued. Jimmy is the preeminent thought leader in driving innovation within organizations and equipping individuals with skill sets to innovate successfully. Jimmy has published the Global Innovation Science Handbook and is sponsoring the International Journal of Innovation and Science. After merging with the International Association of Innovation Professionals, Jimmy became the main innovation certification organization in the world, now driving global ISO innovation management standards. Jimmy is driving development of AI tools to help companies do bigger and bolder innovations faster and cheaper through leveraging innovation ecosystems. Jimmy is leading 5 centers of excellence across high growth sectors and has established within the Dubai Government Excellence Program the Global Council of Innovative Organizations. Jimmy has created Jimmy Think Tank, a weekly forum that brings together some of the world's best speakers to discuss innovation, leading to the creation of the Jimmy Speakers Bureau. Jimmy is democratizing innovation globally through a network of over 32 partners who deliver Jimmy offerings in their respective countries, more than 200 corporate partners, and over 100 universities and numerous governments that utilize Jimmy's methodology.
Okay, that's great.
Hello, and welcome to my video on how to develop a strategic plan for your organization.
That was great, and that was basically a good sneak peek. Okay, we usually hear this was the next video in YouTube, but I'd like to leave now Viola to kind of showcase a little bit more about the program itself, because I think that's the most important part that you are interested. So when does that start? What does that include? There is an exam, there is not an exam, basically how long it is. So all these kind of questions, Viola will give an answer now.
Yes. So let's quickly go to the details of our CIP program, the Certified Innovation Professionals. Let's start with the team. Actually, we have a robust team that will help deliver the program. As you can see, the main instructors are David Tessona, our Executive Director in Axel Colombia, who has helped with strategy growth across thousands companies in Latam and beyond. Dr. Hitendra Patel, you might have seen him. Of course, he's the managing director of Jimmy, an innovation guru, thought leader. Adi Alon, a senior partner of IXL, and also thought leader. He used to be at the Monitor Group and also Accenture before. And of course, this is on the theoretical part, but we will also have guest mentors, especially for level 2, because as you might have heard, the Certified Innovation Professional Program actually is composed of 2 phases. The first phase that is more theoretical, and then the second phase that is more that is applied, where you actually showcase your learnings. And of course, Erila will be there to support you. Vanessa, our colleague, she's actually on leave. You have been communicating, some of you have been communicating with her. She will be the teaching assistant, assisting you and supporting the ones that will be part of the course on every section. Me and my colleague Nirav, again, supporting as mentors. Now, actually, we heard it from you. What is innovation? And many of you said, okay, innovation is all about new, it's all about value. And actually, just referring to Jimmy's definition, business innovation is actually about the creation and the capturing of new value. And of course, it's not the creation and capture of new value in general, but it's creation and capture of new value when it comes to new networks and partners that we're leveraging to innovate, new pricing strategies, new business models, new ways how we produce, new offerings, new ways of delivery, and of course, tapping into new customers, new experiences, which can then ignite or give us that profitable top line growth, the new cost reductions, the new strategic premiums, the new real options, and much, much more. Right now, how do we do this? How do we go through the innovation process in the CIP program? The Certified Innovation Professional Program is a masterclass, it's a 2-level program designed for individuals, as you see here, that are looking to learn about business innovation, about the tools and techniques to make it real, and also the innovation process to generate breakthroughs, so to go from ideation to market. And this is why these are some of the key components that we will be covering. So starting with the baseline, what is innovation? Demystifying innovation. What is the Jimmy framework to make innovation real? What are those techniques for high performance innovation? And of course, the innovation process, right? So how do we go from idea to commercialization? How do we make sure that from discovery, we actually deploy and scale up when it comes to innovation? And how do we do this? We do this, as I mentioned, in 2 levels. So level 1, the first certificate that participants get, Innovation Associates, learning about how to use idea generation tools, how to apply them in creating more and better ideas. And then, of course, level 2, Innovation Master. So we do not stop only with the theoretical knowledge. And by the way, even level 1 is very interactive. The ones that have experienced it know. But on level 2, we actually want to give power to you. Right? So we want to see how you apply the associate level learnings to a real world issue, to a challenge that you have in your own organization or company, and how do you go from that innovation intent, from that innovation challenge to uncovering new growth opportunities, new strategic areas and growth options, to tailored business concepts, and then to winning business cases that can actually make those opportunities a reality for your organization. And of course, to go through this process, first, we start with the level 1 Innovation Associate. Of course, there are tailored master classes in which you participate. You have 2 attempts to take the exam, and then you get certified. So this is level 1. Once we finalize level 1 certification, then you have the right to proceed with level 2 certification. And the combination of level 1 plus level 2 actually makes you eligible and gives you that CIP title, right? So Certified Innovation Professional. On level 2, we apply the learnings to a specific challenge. You have the option here, of course, the challenge can be defined by the team of Jimmy, or can be a challenge that you are living within your companies. And then you go on group work. So this is very powerful. It's powerful because you get the chance to be part of this community of innovators, learn from their experiences, and also go through those struggles and challenges of how do you innovate when you are standing on different parts of the world and trying to solve the same problem. And of course, you will have mentoring sessions with a tailored mentor for your team on level 2. You submit the casework. We also have what we call the show and tell session. So we don't only want to see how you are documenting innovation, but we also want to see the experience, how you are presenting it, all those details. And again, in those show and tell sessions, you get feedback from your mentor, you get feedback from our Jimmy and IXL senior consultants, and you get feedback from the other teams. And eventually then we proceed with the second certificate as GME Innovation Master. And of course, the combination of both makes you, as I said, gives you the right of the CIP title as Certified Innovation Professionals. Now, during the level 1, just to clarify, and Erila can add in here, we go through 6 main learning modules. So we start with the demystifying innovation. So what is business innovation? What are the tools, techniques? Do we have the right mindset to innovate, right? Because when it comes to innovation, it's not just a matter of having the knowledge, but it's also a matter of having the grit, having the growth mindset, being open to make that innovation happen. And of course, the main output here is having an agreed definition when it comes to what is innovation. And then the second module is all about what we call innovation intent. And this innovation intent has 3 key components. So first of all, we need to agree on where to and where not to innovate. What are those growth targets? What is the investment profile? So we want to go on avenues. We want to pursue big and bolder goals. However, how willing are we to back that up with some investment on our side? And where do we want to be positioned, right? So do we want to go on regional innovation, global innovation? Do we want to stay close to the core of what we are doing, or we want to go beyond that? So these are some of the key things that we cover on this module. And of course, both the top-down and bottom-up approach are very, very important. And then we go full on exploration mode. So once we have the innovation intent, once we know why we need to innovate, is the pressure coming from the outside or also from the inside, then we go on a process of opportunity spotting, right? So we look at the future shaping trends, especially the uncertain trends. In there, we try to identify insights and new ideas. And of course, we organize them in what we call the BOM, the Business Opportunity Map, which is nothing more and less than a map full of business opportunities that gives you a holistic view of all the different opportunities that you are tapping into or haven't been tapping, related to, okay, what is your business doing now? What are your competitors doing? What has happened in the past? What is expected to happen in the future? What can you learn from adjacencies and beyond? And then we go into the fields of play, so the strategic areas that the company should consider. How do we prioritize them? How do we develop them into new opportunities? How do we become more capable as we go from one field of play or focus area to the other one? And eventually, once we prioritize what is the focus area that we want to pursue, then we go into the business concepts, right? So what are those concepts that give us not only the right to play, but also the right to win? And how do we validate them? And how do we go on quick sprints so that we can also have the right to compete, right, in such a dynamic timing? And then last but not least is the business case. So summarizing the concept in a very compelling way, what is required to not only innovate, but also sell that innovation, right? Because innovation on itself sometimes cannot be sufficient. And when we say sell it, not only commercially to externals, but firstly selling it to the internal team, to the investors team, and beyond. And of course, this is one way how you can frame the innovation process. This one has the lean startup, the agile, so multiple methodologies embedded inside. And once we go through all these 6 modules, then you take the certification exam. And the next step, of course, is level 2, so applying the framework. And as I said, you have a challenge definition with a clear innovation intent when it comes to the case for change, growth gap, and the investment profile. Then you go through the implementation of the innovation process. So starting from the business opportunity scouting, defining the focus areas that have the biggest potential, identifying business concepts within those focus areas, and moving to the business case. And of course, last but not least, both a combination of the presentation and the submission of the documentation. Now, each lesson follows a how to do methodology. So there is pre-work, there are interactive sessions within the master classes so that you can also learn from each other. And of course, there is a do component related to the casework and the post master classes, but we always want to make it as interactive as possible. And actually, I've been talking a lot. We try not to do this in the GM master classes because we want you to add value and to co-create with us while you learn our methodology. But just to wrap this part up, this program will be delivered over 9 weeks, so we're planning to start on September 23rd. We already have received some confirmations and some slots have been secured. How will we do it? We will have a masterclass every Tuesday and Thursday for 4 weeks for level 1, and then we will proceed with level 2, during the which you will also have 1-hour mentor sessions and of course 2 show and tells to actually share with the GME review and certification committee what you are learning and also the applications to that. I don't know, Evelina, if you'd like to add something.
No, I think basically that's it. And as you know, this is kind of the timeline that we have for the level 1 and level 2. Level 1 is a more, as Eviola explained, exam-based certification. There is theory, but there is lots of simulation and case studies there. And we'll hear also this from the alumni. Level 2 is a action learning basically, and working groups where either if you have a project, we'll work on your project with the group, or if you don't have a project, don't worry, because somebody might have a project. And the third option is we give you a challenge to work on, basically, so you apply the knowledge that you get on level 1, and that's the first test, that's the first experience. Then of course in your daily work you will do even more projects and challenges where you will kind of use this methodology. These are the timelines and everything, and I'd like to move now to, as Viola said, to hear others share a little bit more rather than us. So we have here a few alumni from the past programs, and thank you for staying there quietly and waiting for this moment. So and we'll respond to all your questions from the audience, of course, after this session. So we have Travis. I'm gonna spotlight Travis. Please help me spotlight the rest. So I think we have Orlando.
Let me stop sharing so we can.
Yeah, we have Orlando, so I'm gonna spotlight Orlando as well. And I think we
also
have
here.
Dina. So
Yes.
okay, perfect, Dina. And then we have Akash. Okay, so we have also Akash. So I hope we didn't forget any. Okay, perfect. So I think we are good to go. So I'm gonna ask same question to all of you, and we'll appreciate your answers. We'll try to populate your answers fast in a word cloud to showcase to this audience here, but also to the rest, basically. So let me start, and I'm gonna go according to the order that I have in the screen. So Travis first, Orlando, Akash, and then Dina. So the first question I have is very, very simple. What is something important that you learned from the methodology of the Certified Innovation Professional? Travis.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, too many things to list, but actually, I'll answer this in 2 ways. One is just a very general answer, and that is that the methodology is effective and it's repeatable. I think a lot of innovation methods, quote unquote methods, are either very complicated or they're so simple that like I don't need to go through a course to do it. This is an effective method that teaches you how to, gather dots, right? That's what you're going to learn about, is gathering idea fragments and gathering dots and putting those dots together into something cohesive. So I think if I had to just kind of summarize it into one thing, that's the way I would say it.
Perfect. an effective method basically that is repeatable, that you can use it in your companies, in your organizations. Perfect, Travis. Orlando, what's something important, same question, that you learned from this methodology?
Yeah, I learned that this function as a system. So in a system, you include people from different areas of your company, and let have a bigger vision of the thing that you want to solve. So it's really, really important to include other people from other areas. Yeah.
Okay, it
And
requires.
as Travis said, it looks difficult, but it's really easy to apply.
It requires other people to join the process, what you are saying. So it's seen as a system of innovation that you need to apply and put in place in a company. Is not something that only a team, probably innovation team, can do it. But you have to incorporate other areas as well, and apply it. Okay, perfect. Akash?
Yeah, thanks, Rila. Hi, everyone. So I think I'll speak the same language what Travis and Orlando mentioned, but I'll try to put it in form of an analogy. So when we come talk about innovation and I'm sure everyone has experienced it, there's always a bridge, right? We talk about ideas getting collected versus ideas getting implemented. But I think Jimmy gives us the way of how to reach to that bridge. So they have constructed that road, and they have beautifully structured the process that you guys call it as a breakthrough innovation process, where employees as well as we as innovation department, leaders within different organizations, we can use it, apply it in the projects, as well as train the employees to look at the methodology and come up with something more tangible to sell it to the leadership. So in our region in UAE, what we say is that don't come up with an uncooked biryani, come up with a cooked biryani. So I think Jimmy tells us to use the tools and have that cooked biryani ready so that it's more sellable to the leadership. So that's how I would paint it.
That is great, Akash. Thank you very much. Next one is Dina.
Yeah, I think everyone here already point out the same thing, which is the methodology is very structured, and I just want to add that this is very logical, and sometimes if you want to do some innovations, you want to put everything in place, and this Jimmy methodology, they allow you to don't let anything left behind. So you put from the competitors, from the adjacencies, from the futures, and also from the current state. You won't miss anything. So everything is already put in the methodology, and also you are going to put the reasoning behind the innovation, which mostly are forgotten in most of the innovation process, even in the design thinking process. So in this Jimmy methodology, you also incorporate what's the reason behind it, what is the growth gap, anything, which I think is really important, particularly if you are working with a very rigid organizations where all you can do is the inside the box innovations. Sometimes, if you work in a very rigid company, very big and structured company, you cannot do what's so-called as out of the box innovation. So this Jimmy method is really applicable for those big companies, also for the startup as well. So I think really applicable, structured, very logical, and won't let you miss anything in here.
Great. So what Dina is saying is basically comprehensive methodology, which has some logical and methods, basically, and tools and techniques behind that, and incorporates as part of it also design thinking. Sometimes there are companies which use design thinking as part of their innovation process, and it's a very specific tool, seeing the process on the lenses of customer, but that's also already incorporated in this innovation process. It's much bigger because here we are talking about innovation strategy. Good. One thing, because I know we started right, basically we started immediately, but I would like to, in the second question, which is, what is a tool and technique, really concrete from Jimmy, that you apply in your daily work? And with this, I want also you to kind of introduce where do you work, basically, so, and what's your role on innovation, and then connect it with that. So Travis?
Yeah. So I'm the director of the Innovation Center at the University of Charleston in Charleston, West Virginia. So the Appalachian region of the USA. I lead both a group of students who we call Innovation Scholars. We have 18 Innovation Scholars. And also I lead those students and as well as like staff and employees through various innovation projects. You know, sometimes it's something that has to do with the campus. Sometimes it's something that has to do with the community. So, you know, the Jimmy training was very relevant for me. As far as like one concrete tool, my favorite one, I mean, there's several that you'll learn in the CIP classes, but my favorite one is when you're doing fields of play, there's a bullseye. And in the middle of the bullseye is what you call the sandbox. And then you go out to the next ring and it's like adjacent ideas. And then there's more distant ideas. I use that all the time because when we are trying to come up with new ideas to implement here at the university, we want to know like, okay, we have these two ideas. How do they relate to each other and can we connect them? So we'll put the bullseye on the whiteboard and map those ideas. So among all the tools that we used in the CIP classes, that's my favorite one.
Thank you very much, Travis. A good one, and coming with this perspective from the university and how you can really put that in place, but also not only with students, because I know you have this innovation lab where you are kind of accelerating SMEs as well, and you are using some of these methodologies. Good. Orlando?
Yeah, well, actually, because of our business, we are using BOM, Business Opportunity Map, because we need to see different sort of things that are happening actually in our business. So this is a tool we are using right now and a lot. Yeah, it's really good to see other things. For example, I work for a flower business, and actually natality is decreasing at the US. So we are thinking there's not going to be any more mothers in 20, 30 years. So what is going to happen with this day when we sell a lot of flowers at the US? So we are thinking about that, and these tools let us think different. So that's the tool we are using actually.
That's great, Orlando. So Orlando is Chief Innovation Officer of this big company, one of the biggest actually of flowers in Colombia. And Business Opportunity Map is a framework or map basically where you collect all the dots, and dots are idea fragments from your company, from the future trends, from the competitors, from the adjacencies, basically other companies in other industries that you can learn from the value chain. So government partners, distributors, suppliers, basically, and what can you learn from that? So it's a kind of 360 in terms of time and in terms of stakeholders that you can collect these ideas and put it across the value chain, which is market, offering, delivery, production, basically, and business model. And then you have everything in one place, which you will start connecting in the next phases. So Orlando, yes, Business Opportunity Map is one of the most loved, I would say, tools that people use and love about this methodology. Akash, what about you?
Hi again, everyone. Just a quick introduction. I'm leading the innovation and foresight practice for Department of Culture and Tourism, Abu Dhabi, and driving the tourism and culture agenda in this beautiful emirate. To the question, I think because we are a big organization, we have created a whole toolkit based out of Jimmy, but I'll speak about specific stuff that we use the most. Obviously, the famous one, and I'm sure all the people who are going to this training will love this specific tool, because that's a common thread amongst all the batches, is the field of play that Mr. Travis already mentioned, because it gives you your arena of where you actually need to work upon. So we as DCT, we also look at our field of plays in terms of where exactly we need to focus our innovation efforts. So that's how we define it. And one of the other things that we use is the innovation intent. That's how everything is structured. So whenever we are coming up with an innovation program, be it a hackathon, be it simple ideation sessions, there there's always a question of how do you link it with the strategy. I think innovation intent closes that gap and gives you those right matrices to tell, okay, that you need to achieve this, and to achieve this, you need to come up with your how might we's, your challenge that makes our opportunity areas more robust for ideation. So that is also something that we do it on regular basis in terms of any programs that we launch within our mandate. I mean, these are a few to speak about, but yeah, as I mentioned, there are all this level 2 processes. We have made our own specific toolkit out of it, which are more tailored and more customized. These two are, I would say, the top ones, which we see the usage across our sectors and all our departments.
So great. What Akash is saying is 2 important steps of this methodology: innovation intent, where you set actually the strategic intent of why are you innovating. So what's the case for change? Basically, what's the investment profile? How much are you investing in this innovation? Is it far from the core, close to the core, incremental, breakthrough, local, global? And then what's the growth gap? What are you going to kind of miss if you are not innovating today? Basically, what are you going to miss in 3 years or 5 years? And that's important because makes the case always with the top management to kind of convince them about innovation. And then is the fields of play. Fields of play sometimes are referred as focus areas or as growth areas. And we as Jimmy don't believe on a silver bullet. So you invest and put all the eggs, we say sometimes, in one basket, in one project, but you should look to a bigger area or a platform which combines your capabilities with the trends basically that are going to disrupt your industry. And of course, assets, technologies, people, and you can define that focus areas. And every company, believe me, every big company in the planet has their focus areas where they work on several, actually, ones inside the sandbox, outside of the sandbox, where they put all or invest all the efforts of innovation. And that's so powerful, basically, when you understand it, and makes a difference for your company. And I'm going to go to Dina as the last for this question.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Dina. I'm the director of business incubator in Institut Teknologi Bandung. It is one of the university in Indonesia, and also act as a managing partner for idea and solutions. So basically, I just want to give some point of view from 2 different point of view. First, as my role in as a director in the business incubator. So I think this Jimmy methodology is really helpful, yeah, for us to help startups to determine what are the next move for their innovations by using the BOM, business objective map, yeah, and also try to understand how to generate a new field of play. Thus, by understanding those methodology, they can do the right vertical integrations move, yeah, for this for their growth strategy. And from the professional point of view, as my role in the managing partner, yeah, in Idea Solutions, we have a lot of clients from big companies, private companies, also state-owned government. I think one of the most important part is determining the innovation intent. So sometimes most of the companies previously, before they are using this Jimmy methodology, they just skip those most important part. So most of the innovation process is cannot be used directly, since they are forget on their capability. They forget about what the reasons behind the innovations. They forget about the characteristics of the innovations, about the budget and many things, and about the growth gap. So most of the innovation project before that they are using this Jimmy method, or mostly cannot be used directly. So after we introduce this Jimmy methodology by doing some analysis, yeah, using the innovation intent, using the Jimmy methodology, all the process are become more smooth and more implementable, yeah, as they say it, yeah, as their what they say to us. And I think this is really logic, yeah, if you try to implement this methodology to big companies and those companies which are more static and they're too big, less agile. but still they need to do some innovation. I think that's all I really.
Great, Dina. And my last question actually is about all of you have been doing several PhDs, innovation masters, degrees, basically different programs on innovation, different courses. So you have lots of experience, and I know some of you have done not only CIP level 3 and other courses inside GME. So the last question is very, I would say, direct and short to summarize, because you said a lot. What makes these GME programs, master classes, stand out, right, compared to other innovation programs which are out there from universities, from different providers, at least based on your experience after you have had these courses? So I'm going to start again, Travis, Orlando, Akash, and then Dina.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people on here, I've certainly read all kinds of innovation articles and books and been through workshops, and you know, certainly some of those other workshops you pick up a nugget here or there that's helpful. But I think what makes GME stand out above all the other things that I've encountered is the importance that's placed on what Erla just mentions, the innovation portfolio, and the importance of having an innovation blueprint. A lot of programs that I've taken part in previously have centered on how do you take a product, let's say, or a problem, and how do you reframe the problem and come up with the best solution available. What GME really forces you to do is it says, you know, you need to have a number of solutions. There has to be a portfolio of different innovations, because some of them are going to make it and some of them aren't, and you don't really know which ones are going to make it. And so it's just like having a portfolio of diverse investments. We know some stocks are going to go up, some are going to go down, but we don't know which ones. So if you're diverse, that protects you and puts you in the best position to succeed. And so that to me is what GME teaches you to do that other programs kind of gloss over, or they just don't include it at all. And I think it's a critical difference, because if I'm creating something, I'm a manufacturer, and all I'm doing is trying to search for the next big product. If I swing and miss, that could be devastating to the business. So that I thought was the most important piece.
Thank you, Travis. Orlando?
Yes, well, actually, I think is that it let you higher your level of the innovation. I've been learning about CPS, that is creating problem solving, CIP, that systematic inventing thinking. But I think there are tools that let you solve problems. But with this program, you higher your level of innovation in your company. And as Hitendra saying, what else, what next, or what next, what else. It is very important for us just keeping in touch, getting networking, hiring, and continue learning with this program. So it let you like have meetings weekly and things like that let you learn more. So that's the big issue here: connecting and learning more and hiring your innovation level.
Okay, great, Orlando. Akash?
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's very, very actionable, right? Again, all the different tools and practices have various advantages, right? You know, we can name a lot, but I think it's first of all, it's very, very easy, so you can copy paste it in your environment, in your mandate area, and the structure will very well work, right? It's very adaptable at the same time. So it's as I said, it's very realistic, actionable, adaptable, and I think one of the tool that the GME uses, which is the business opportunity map, it gives you all the horizons to look for. It's not just you're looking at your organization context. You can look at competitors. You can look at the trends that are going on. You can look at your adjacent players in the market. So it gives you, the different horizons to work upon and see what are the shifts happening around, right? Part of your core or outside your core, and then eventually gives you a more structured approach. So I think that's, for me, is the first strength that I think about when I see or passes on the GME methodology within DCT to all the employees.
Great. So actionability, I think it's very a fair point, right? And kind of something which people say about GME methodology, and it's not about the theory, and there are many theories in there when we talk about disruptive innovation or incremental innovation and all this. But one of the most important things is how you make it happen. And because the chief innovation officers have to make it happen, or leaders or whoever is taking that role in the company, and that's the most important part, right? So how you make it actionable, and Jimmy provides that edge. Dina, you are last. You have the pressure of being the last,
Right. Yeah, you just want to see other point of view on why you should take these certifications. Yeah, actually, in Indonesia, we have some urgency to take some other degree other than the regular one. Yeah. So as lecturers in the MBA program, also in doctoral program, so we really urge our students to take these certifications if they want to have career, yeah, in this product development or innovation divisions, which now increasingly famous, yeah, in Indonesia. And some testimonials from our students which already take these certifications, that now they become more acknowledged in their place of work, and also they have some new skills which is more, other than other certifications. It is more applicable to their daily jobs. Yeah, and not only in terms of the methodology, but the way of thinking, the way they think, the way they see problems, the way they craft some solutions. So I think it's not only about the methodology, but also the increasing level of thinking, which I think it is really important nowadays. That's all I like.
Thank you, Dina. Thank you, everyone, for great insights, basically, that you gave based on your experience. I see that. Okay, let me mute some people who forgot their mic open. So, I know right now we have some minutes for addressing Q&A, but before I go to some of the questions, probably which are related to the methodology that me and Viola can respond, there is one or two questions from Gautam, which he is addressing to the alumni. So Gautam is asking, right, how have you dealt basically with stakeholder alignment challenges to ensure that you deliver on the innovation long-term goals and objectives? That's the first question. So I don't know who wants to take it. Probably Orlando, Akash, basically knowing that you work in this very, I'd say, hierarchical, sometimes organizations. And this is a challenge, right? How you align with them, with the stakeholders, in particular, the CEO and shareholders, that they buy in this process in order to have this innovation performance.
If I may start with, I think that's the golden question about the culture, right? But when you talk about gotten for the culture, there are so many different perspectives. You can do a number of things, but to point out few is we need to first of all speak the same language. If let's say Jimmy is the methodology that the company is adopting, right? So you need to ensure that people across the different departments and all, you have champions around who are basically your extended arms and can circulate the same level of understanding as you have, being an innovation leader within the company. Sorry. So as I was saying, it's all about building that shared understanding. So ensuring that whatever methodologies you are following, you pass it on as champions within departments, so that they circulate it within their area as well. At the same time, you need to also link when it comes to the leadership. You have to align from the top on how you want to drive innovation across your organization, right from the strategy, right, to your process, as well as to your governance that is happening within the organization, because everything is a mixture, and at the end, the culture is very, very niche to an organization. But these are the few elements that Jimmy also talks about it, right? And eventually, when you'll go to level 3, level 4, you'll know about the systems that you need to carry. And one of the system is the discipline pillar of Jimmy, which talks about the culture perspective, where they talk about the different elements that you need to tackle. So that's, I would say, the short answer, but culture itself is a whole different subject. You can take hours to know about how to build the culture, but in summary, these are just the few tinkers I would like to highlight.
Thank you, Akash, for addressing both questions. Any other, Travis, Orlando?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell that there is a combination that is very dangerous. It's power with ignorance. So what we're doing through this, or to manage this, is trying to teach the CEO and the C-level what innovation is and why the program is important and the steps of the program. And also we are conducting actually like an Olympics program. Maybe Rila can tell later about that. But we are trying to conduce that at the same time that we are doing the strategic exercise. So in this case, Hitendra is helping us, like teaching to our C-levels how how this works, and this is very important to manage this combination of power with ignorance. So that's the way we are conducing at the C-level.
And just one comment on my side there, Orlando. I think the first thing is that mindset, right? Because knowledge is something we can work on, but the mindset that you have and this desire, this being open and just wanting to become better, to gain that edge, is what differentiates you. And of course, finding a trusted advisor and then embedding all those insights that the trusted advisor shares are quite key and important. And I would say, again, quite aligned with what Akash said. So first, we need to agree on a shared definition of innovation. And to reach that, some training is definitely needed. And of course, everything that can complement it, different programs are quite powerful, especially with the dynamics that you are handling in your industry.
Great. I think please feel free to ask any questions. I think there was another question from Gautam about the times, right? So it's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. EST time, basically. And the level 1 and the level 2 is just a mentoring session where you can decide according to your time zone with once a week it's only, and then it's a show and tell, only 2 sessions basically. So it's a little bit more doable, but the level 1 is a little bit more fixed. You asked if you miss any a session. We ensure that we record every session of the level 1, and we put those in the learning management system where you will have consistent access. And so in case you miss one, we don't suggest to miss more than 2, because it becomes a bit difficult for you. And in particular, if you are part of a team, you will do exercises even in level 1 and all this. So it affects kind of the dynamic, but still you can catch up with those in the learning management system. Any other questions that we have from the audience about this course?
Betty has a question. Betty has a question, and she's asking how accepted was your certification to enable action and innovation within your organization? So basically, how did the certification help you? And also, were you sponsored? Did you do this based on your own growth? Are you level 1 and level 2? We have a diversity, Betty. I would say, so there are a lot of innovators, as you see, from the government institutions, from other public organizations, from university, academia, entrepreneurs, startup leaders, and also innovation managers and leaders on organizations. And of course, sometimes this is done solo on own initiative, and in most of the cases, I would say. And in many other times, of course, GME also has corporate memberships, organizational memberships, and certain agreements with organizations where this is part of the package. For the alumni, they were all level 1, 2, and 3, I believe. Erila, I don't know if you want to share something more.
Yeah, I think one of the questions that, Patty, you are referring if some of the people pay themselves, and if in some cases the companies, we have both of the cases. So we have cases that the company is sponsoring it, and we have cases that they have sponsored themselves because they believe it's good for their growth. And they wanted to go fast because sometimes the companies have these procedures of taking long. So both practices we see sometimes coming in groups and in teams from a company. And in terms of alumni, some of the alumni have level 1 and level 2, but most of them in here, at least for Akash, Travis, Dina, they have 3 levels minimum. Akash is doing the 4th level, I think. Dina as well. So and other courses as well, like that they have continued the whole path, I would say, from Jimmy. How do we access materials? I see from Aisha. So in the moment that you register, Aisha, we give you access, and Yula just shared as part of the LMS. In the LMS, you'll find everything. It's like a one-stop shop where you find the books, the video, extra videos, extra reading, and everything. And of course, also during the master classes, you will see the decks and the videos that are happening there, which again, all those are stored, and also the master classes in the LMS. Do we need to maintain CIP credential? Yeah. So there is what we call CPEs, right? Credits. So this certification is 3 years valid right now according to the ISO 1724 standards that Jimmy is opting in. So during these 3 years, you need to kind of there are different ways how you can keep these credentials is through doing another course to kind of upgrade during these 3 years, doing webinars, doing sessions, doing research, doing articles, speeches, be part of different conferences, be member of different networks on innovation. So anything which keeps you updated with the latest trends, basically, on what this certification, I would say, is aligned to. So yeah, and we can share that if you are interested, what are the different CPs that you can keep the validity of the certification even after the 3 years. Perfect. Any other questions?
And just FYI, after this session, we will send both the PowerPoint that has some more detailed information so that you can go through it in more details. And we'll also share the recording. For the ones that are planning to apply as a group to, of course, please feel free to share this with the team or the colleagues that you want to pursue this course with. And of course, all Jimmy members, as you know, have a special discount. So please reach out to us so that we can make sure to give the coupon codes and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so I see we are 2 minutes over time. First of all, I would like to thank a lot Travis, Orlando, Akash, Dina for making it to be in this session today. Thank you very much. We really appreciate. You are a great asset as part of GB family. And thank you to all of you who joined basically or registered. We will kind of follow up after this session to everyone who has expressed interest. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.